I signed for them after the Euros, and after my first day's training, I was driving home. I was actually thinking, regretting it. What have I done? Like I walked into a circus.
It's amazing, isn't it?
20 minutes past 9 this morning, time for Deal or No Deal. Phil is back. Phil, good morning to you.
Good morning, lads. How do you do?
Paddy Power has suspended betting on the possibility of Gareth Bale making a sensational return to Tottenham Hotspur. According to El Chiringuito, report picked up by AS, Daniel Levy and Florentina Perez have met in Madrid to discuss the Welshman's future. This is a potential summer deal, we hasten to add, not a January move. Would this be a no-brainer for all parties, or is Bale going nowhere and playing out his monster contract?
I think Bale is going nowhere. He's going to play out that monster contract, work out on that golf game. I have high hopes for Gareth Bale after he finishes football of making it as a golfer in the European Tour.
European Tour, he could do that, yeah.
Definitely can go better than the likes of Andrei Shevchenko.
Tony Romo.
Julian Dix tried it for a while, didn't he?
Yeah. Stephen Grant.
Evgeny Kafelnikov.
Did Kafelnikov try it?
He played in the Russian Open, yeah.
Right.
Never makes the cut, though.
Right, okay. I think there is a possibility of this happening, and I'll tell you why. I think that from Real Madrid's perspective, there's a couple of years left on that. If you give Spurs some money to take him off your hands, you save money. So say they're on the hook with 13 million a year over 2 years. You give Spurs 10 million, you take him off. From Bale's perspective, Spurs can then give him a 4-year deal where he's actually going to make that same 13 million equivalent over 4 years. And it's like Gareth Bale gets an extra 2 years, gets to leave, gets a bit of a sweetheart deal, and everybody is a little bit happy with the fact that he's no longer an opportunity stopper for those young Brazilian kids. Yeah,
and he just becomes Tottenham's problem on why he's injured all the time.
Is he injured all the time?
He is, yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he not? Like, is that not a bit, my back?
You think back to when he first started at Real Madrid, his first season, where he had a clear run at it and he was brilliant. They obviously won the Champions League, but he scored that famous goal in the cup final at the Mestalla against Barca, where he's off the pitch and he still manages to get back on, run around and score the winning goal. So, like, when he leaves Real Madrid, his medal haul is going to be seriously impressive.
Yeah.
That you'll be there.
One of the great careers.
Yeah, you'll be thinking
3 Champions Leagues?
There will be people saying, did Gareth Bale have a good career?
Oh, yes.
At Real Madrid?
Well, and he's worth 125 million.
Yeah.
He did okay. He'll be okay. Yeah. A good idea for Spurs to get into this.
If Gareth Bale is fully fit, yeah, he's exactly.
And is that not worth the risk? It is. Like, how do you propel Spurs from being a team who are perennially fighting for fourth, effectively, which is what they are, and being a team who could win a Champions League or who could sustain a title bid?
Spurs, to become a better team now, have to work on their defence and their midfield. So Gareth Bale doesn't really fit into that at the moment. Now, I don't know, you'd be very concerned for Harry Kane and that injury. We don't really know how serious it is, but Harry Kane, he's going nowhere because he wants to break the record at Spurs. So obviously they'll have no problem scoring goals once Harry Kane is fit and available. There are decent players, creative players, the likes of Son and Mora. Lo Celso has shown a bit of an improvement in the last few weeks. Central midfield is an issue for them, and although Alderweireld has signed his new contract, he's not what he used to be, and their 2 fullbacks are a problem, and their goalkeeper ain't so great either. I know Lloris is back, but he's not really.
Okay, so not a priority.
I don't think so.
Okay. Barcelona are keen to address the gap left in their squad by Luis Suarez's injury and are on the hunt for a number 9. One possible solution would be signing Aubameyang on loan. The Arsenal man is reported to be the Catalans' first choice. We did learn, apparently, though, in football leaks, that he will have a net 15.15 million loyalty bonus, pounds sterling, net. If he sees out, sorry, I don't know if that's net or if that's gross, but he will net a loyalty bonus if he sees out his contract to 2021. Will he be there to claim the cash?
No.
Barcelona
will not sign. Will he be at Arsenal today?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, he will be. Barcelona, I don't think you're going to go for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang on loan, to be quite honest. I don't think they necessarily need him, given the fact that Suarez will be back eventually. It's not a full-time signing. This is not some sort of departure from the club or retirement, and you're like, how do we fill this totemic hole that's been left? in the club. So no. Also as well, I mean, like you look at the Aubameyang discourse, especially after last night, where it's like, God, it's great that he got a suspension there for 3 games to allow the kid Gabriel Martinelli to actually come in and get a run in the team. It's not like Aubameyang isn't playing as well as he was last season. He's still in Arsenal's top 2 players, but I don't think Barcelona are looking at him and salivating over his prospects of fixing them and saving the season.
He would be a better option than Suarez on current form. But yeah, he's not going to leave Arsenal. And one of the first things Arteta did when he came in was got that sorted. And the signs are promising that the players have reacted to what Arteta is doing.
Yeah.
That, that was a game last night that they shouldn't have got anything from, but they kept going. Even, I was actually only thinking before last night's game how David Luiz was playing quite well under Arteta, and then Mustafi.
Yeah, I mean, it's Mustafi's fault.
Yeah.
I still don't think that's a red card, is it? Is it a red card all day long?
It's not a genuine attempt. It's clumsy.
Is it a genuine? But it's not. It's David Luiz. It's exactly the type of attempt he would make. If that was in the middle of midfield, that's exactly the type of tackle he would horse into, and it would be like, and there was also a picture where he touches the ball. Now, okay, he's already...
Problem is, like, he did all the hard work. He actually got back to Tammy Abraham.
Yeah, and there's another defender there.
But if
there is someone on the goal line.
If David Luiz doesn't do that, Abraham just knocks it into the net.
He doesn't, though, because the defender's there.
Who was the defender?
It was Mustafi, I think.
Exactly.
But, like, you can't be making that decision. I think that's double punishment. I think that's the stereotypical double punishment, and it shouldn't... Anyway. Need to change the rules. We'll get on to the 4 kids who have the opportunity to do that. So Barcelona also linked with a move for Inter-ace Lautaro Martinez in the summer as a long-term solution. David Beckham's MLS franchise, Inter Miami, have made contact with representatives of Manchester City's Argentine striker Sergio Aguero, 31, and Spanish midfielder David Silva, 34. Silva's out of contract in the summer. Aguero signed up to 2021. Silva's is up in the summer. Will either be heading stateside? When do Inter Miami start?
They started training yesterday.
Right.
I'll tell you, the excitement around as Beckham made his way to the training ground. But
is he involved on a day-to-day basis?
David Silva would be definitely a doer because...
Perfect.
Obviously, Beckham has such a pull in the game that he could get David Silva. Watching City last night, it's still quite evident that they are heavily reliant on Aguero to score the goals because Gabriel Jesus, even before his penalty was saved, you'd be forgiven for actually forgetting he was playing the game.
Club Internacional de Football, Miami, Inter Miami.
They've gone full hog. They certainly just haven't shown the word Inter in it. Like Kenmare, Don and Kerry do. They just call themselves Inter Kenmare. I'm not sure is it actually Internazionale or not, but I can check that up. Like looking through the squad at the moment, it's they haven't really brought in any of the heavy hitters yet from abroad. David Silva would be a fairly realistic one, you would suspect. Great city for someone earning his amount of money, 34 years old. You've mentioned the contract situation already. He's done. Like, it's perfect honeymoon, and you actually feel like you're part of a situation where you're actually part of something that's starting up, and you're going. So it's not like the boring LA Galaxy move. This is something that's a bit more exciting. It's got something more about it.
We don't know what ownership percentage Beckham has. There's like an ownership group. So he might have 5%. He might have 10%.
Yeah, whatever his percentage is, I'm sure Inter Miami are quite happy that he is the one that is always mentioned.
And is he knocking around the place?
Yeah, no, he was. There was the cameras were out yesterday, so he didn't.
He's the president, so
he didn't miss an opportunity to arrive at the training ground, take off the sunglasses as he arrived in to say, "I'm here."
Right. Man United could sign Portuguese midfielder. This is like Groundhog Day. Where's Huck's Tony Pill?
See, there's a development though because he played last night.
Phil. Bruno Fernandes 25 in a 55 million deal by the end of the week after breakthrough talk to Sporting Lisbon. It says a breakthrough.
So last night he played.
Can we get a job negotiating for Man United? Like, there's a lot of money on the table here, and it seems pretty easy. His side suffered a 2-1 defeat to Braga last night, and the star stormed off the pitch at full time, shoving a camera tracking him as he walked down the tunnel.
Now, the reason he did that was because they lost in a League Cup semi-final to Braga, who they're ahead of in the league, so it's probably a game they would have expected to win. They had 2 players sent off. Yannick Bolasie was one of them. And
blast in the past.
Yeah, Jeremy Mathieu, the French defender. He was the other player sent off. So Fernandes is obviously the captain. He was probably just pissed off. He's like, we shouldn't have been losing this game. Camera shoved in his face. Get out of here.
Doesn't have the mentality. Done. Call it off, Manchester United.